Hey, g'day, and welcome to another Let's Play, and this one is Warbands Bushido. A great little game by Red Unit Studios. Um, they've said it's a game of isometric table-style looking miniatures, cards, dice, and pre-rendered battlefields for a story mode scenarios. I guess they've done the game and they've used traditional wargame classics like Warmachine, Mordheim, and also some fast-paced games like Hearthstone as inspirations for the game itself. It has single-player scenarios, and it also has some multiplayer as well, and it's highly influenced by sort of classic tactical sort of turn-based RPGs. So let's have a little bit of a let's play and let's walk through the game itself. Now your initial starting screen is as it has here, and just setting up. So just going through on the left hand side, you've got your character, where you can actually choose your banner for your warbands, and obviously your name. From going through the right hand side, you've actually got your achievements and quest lines, and they do actually have some nice quests every day to help you get your currency. Now, as of the time of the recording, you cannot buy currency, so it's not a play to win, or so a pay to win. You earn your currency by grinding and playing and winning battles with your warbands, and then get the currency to buy more miniatures and more cards. The next thing we actually have is the actual quests itself, as we talked about, and you get it 3 or 4 quests a day. I think it's 3 quests to go through, and it's not per day, it's actually over a period of time. Once you've completed them, then you'll get some more quests. The last thing you actually have is this great little guide on how to do it, and I do like the artwork and how they've actually done the book itself, so it's a great help. They also have an in-game tutorial, but you can see certainly just the colours of the designs and the effort that's been put into the game itself, so it's just a nice little polished game. Now with the board itself, as it says, it comes in 3 areas. So in the middle you actually have your scenarios, which is also your single player games. So in this case here, campaign modes, and it tells you what you actually need. You need to complete the tutorial. You're fighting with the blue warband, 12 war points, and the scenario box is bought, and we'll go through that in a second. You have your tutorial, and the tutorial's got 3 missions. The next thing you have down here is obviously picking your fight, and we'll choose that in a section. And in the left hand side you've got your arena. Now at the time of recording this, I haven't actually built up enough to achieve to get to the arena, but we'll certainly try that as well, and that's with your red warband. So collections, we'll start off on the left hand side. So with your collections, this is where you actually buy your packs. So you can buy your scenarios, and your scenarios are for your single player, and as you can see, each of your scenarios are 100 in the currency. Currency is in the left hand side, and you can get, obviously said, more Rio, if that's how it's pronounced, through completing missions and actually winning tournaments. So there's 2 ways to get your currency, obviously by completing the quest lines that you receive, but also winning matches as well. The next thing you actually have is miniatures, and you can buy your miniatures for exactly the same. In this case here, you can buy the miniatures as a single pack, of which you will receive 3 miniatures, a 3 pack, or a 10 pack, so you would actually get 30 miniatures. And then the last thing you can purchase is packs of cards. So once again, 3 cards, 9 cards, or a stack of cards, being 30 cards that you would actually have. So let's go back to the skirmish maps. The next thing you have is your warbands. As we mentioned before, you've got 4 warbands. You have your grey and your green warband, that represents for skirmishes in multiplayer. You have your blue warband that you create, which represents for single player, and you have your red warband, which is for arena. And as we said, I do not have enough to get into the arena itself. The left hand side, based on your level, being level 5, will show you the amount of warbands you can, or the amount of miniatures you can have for your warband, your points, and your total amount, or your cards that you can have for a warband. So that is the warband. That's my grey warband. Next thing that you actually have on the map, and once again, this is actually quite a nice little look. So you have your cards or your starting deck. So in this case here, I can have a maximum of 12 cards. These are the cards that I own, and obviously you can buy your cards as mentioned. Now you do not get loot boxes or anything like that. You simply get currency, and from your currency you choose where you want to spend, whether you want to spend it on cards, whether you want to spend it on miniatures, or whether you want to spend it on single player scenarios. Now with the cards itself, you choose the cards by dragging and dropping, and this will actually create your card deck similar to other games. We'll show you, if you do not want the card, you can click on the card, whoops, take that one off, and you can actually convert the cards to dust. Now dust is another type of currency that's used for then generating future cards or further cards. We'll have a look at that when we go into dust itself. The next thing we've got is colour. So you can paint your miniatures. You can paint their helm, their armour, and their leggings. A mixture of colours, both natural and dark, and these colours are once again also presented to you when you buy boxes. You will actually get certainly some of the cards, or you can actually create the cards, the colours through dust as well. The last thing we have is the manufacturing of cards or miniatures. So through the creation of dust, in this case here I've got 86 dust, you can create your miniatures, or you can actually create your cards themselves. And obviously the cost of the cards are down below. The more powerful cards and legendary cards are obviously going to cost more dust to produce. With the actual miniatures themselves, the miniatures come in 4 types, depending on the quality. So you have a basic quality, a green quality, a blue quality, and then a legendary quality. And each, obviously, the different qualities would come with a different cost with the dust itself. The last thing we want to look at is actually the miniature or the board itself. So you can simply move your characters backwards and forwards on the board, as it certainly shows here. As I said, dragging them over, you'll say that the character's available, and we've got one point left, one war point available for the warband. So then we can choose a level 1 to bring on. Now you can show that through the points, and this will show all my level 1 miniatures that would be available. Once again, as explained prior, your miniatures come in multiple colours, so you can actually have it as a common. Moving down, you can then see your rare, blue represented by epic, and yellow as legendary. As you play the games, you will get points which will level up your character. So you can see here that I've taken 1 component, so I'm level 1 of 4, and with level 1 I would get the benefit here of heavy bullets. So heavy bullets with -1 damage to all enemies that are shot, all enemies in line of shot. Once I reach level 3, I would get the next bonus. Keeping in mind that obviously you have level 5s as well, and depending, so only epics and above will give you the opportunity to reach level 5, being that there's 5 leaves in that clover, I guess, if that's the way to represent the colours itself. So only epic or above will allow you to ever see a level 5. And what that does is it gives you an option for another card. Now, even as a commoner, you can unlock 3, but that's as high as it goes. So let's bring our green warband back, and we will drop them over. So the question is why would you ever place a grey miniature on your warband? And I think once again, this is just in the early Let's Play. You're going to obviously play with the decks you have. It's not pay to win, so I can't spend real life currency to keep buying miniatures. You play, you get rewarded, you buy more miniatures, you build up your warband. Okay, so hopefully that helps and gives you a bit of an explanation. So let's just have a quick look at the characters that we've got in the current warband themselves. So looking already, we've got I'm not even going to try and pronounce these, sudden attack with 1 and jump back 1 square. Attacks against or surrounded strength in masses, attacks against surrounded or outnumbered. So that certainly helps. If we scroll down here, we've got already added. In this case here, he gets 1 damage in a reckless and mighty dash with an extra 2 die. But in return, he will lose 1 point. So he gets 1 damage, but he gets an extra 2 die. So when you look at the characters themselves, the toughness represents the amount of dice you roll whilst you still have it. The armor represents, as it said, the armor representing the character prior to it taking damage. Once you've lost your armor and your toughness, then your character dies. Agility is the amount of squares that it can move on the playing board. Let's have a look. We've got the same, so exactly the same that we have itself. In this case here, he's reached level 3, and if the unit runs out of steps, so if it meets the entire 4, it gets an extra step, so it can actually move 5, which is quite nice. Scrolling down, this one here, a sudden strike. It minuses 1, but it's a Yari strike, and it can attack 2 squares basically away, but it has no chance of a counter strike. So basically this is a great one for sitting behind your front line and actually sweeping through the front line to attack the players. Katana G Samurai, one that I can pronounce, is a sudden strike that reaches your enemy for 2 dice with no counter attack. So even though it starts off with 3 toughness and 1 armor, you can comfortably attack an enemy player without fears of actually having a counter strike. So I do like this character and this player itself. And as we come down here, I think we've got one more. I thought we had a level 5. No, we don't. 1, 1, 1, 3, and that's it. That's all we have in this warband itself. So it must be another one where I have a couple of others. I know I do have a Ronin in another warband. So let's head back. So we're going to do this one sort of a little bit real time. We'll jump in, but I think depending on, once again, the feedback, we may do a couple more videos and actually show the single player and the skirmishes themselves. So we're going to play with our grey warband, which is actually set, and let's jump in. So you've got a choice of joining a skirmish or either dueling with friends. So we're actually going to join a skirmish and we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I don't get beaten up too much. Okay, and here we go. There's my warband. And we have the enemy warband, and he does not have any archers. So you start off with your cards, you can get an opportunity to replace cards with 25 seconds, last chance. That's fine. Touch of Wind, Sudden Energy, so you can do a Reckless Dash to move out of control runes. And in Battle Frenzy, Warrior gets +1, but is only left with 1. But that's okay. So we're going to keep those 4. We're not going to replace any of the cards. Okay, let's start moving down. And then you simply press spacebar to go. So you start off with 4 cards, and obviously the 5th card on the right is represented by the card that comes with the miniature. On the left hand side you've got your morale points, and you've got 5 cards left in the deck. Top bar will actually show not only the character that you're playing itself, but it will also show the toughness or the armor, the toughness and the agility of the character. So he's playing a bit of a defensive game, and we'll see what we've got. He's also, I guess, been playing for a while, but he is definitely playing a very slow, methodic defensive game at the moment. In this case here, obviously your 3 attack, 1 defense. What do we got on the right hand side? We will jump in. Throwing the 2 right dice. He's now attacking with 2 against my 3 defense, so I get the counter strike. This is where you've got the Yari, so you can actually move 1 behind. I think I can. No, I can't Yari strike with that. He's going to come in. Get 2 die, so before you commit you can actually see the amount of die. So in this case here I'll get 2 die and he'll get his 1 return. Your advantage is that I've taken him out on his shot, so he didn't actually get the 1 return back. Because he's played the defensive game, he's got a lot of characters that are going to sit back in a distance. Not sure why he's played so defensively, and the same with this character here. It's only got 1 attack. It's got 3 defense, but it really can't do anything once you surround this. And that was the Yari strike. So you can see the distance that they can actually strike is actually quite impressive. We're going to use one of the cards here because he's got 2 attack. We're going to actually do the thrust, which means that I can attack without him fighting, actually coming back. So that way I could take away 1 of his armor. Yari strike, I do not have an opportunity to hit the Yari strike just because of the distance, but we may move this character here. And then we can do exactly the same. We can do the same that he did for ourselves. But I will be moving characters in there. In this one here, we were actually going to do the Reckless Rush. So the Reckless Rush, and we do have a timer on here. The Reckless Rush, as I said, I will get 1 damage, which will take away my toughness, but I'll get 2 die. So we'll use the Reckless Rush, but this means that he will not be able to attack back. Little bit of a waste. I only got rid of 1 of his armor. I was hoping for a little bit more. But we are going to do the Reckless Rush again, knowing that now we only have... correction. I will only have 3 morale points left. And that hurt. If you can actually surround a character, you get a bonus in defense as well. So there goes that character. That wasn't a good end. And now he's coming in with his defensive character. We've only got 3, so we're going to have to come in. He will be able to get a counter attack. Yari strike. I do have enough for a Yari strike. but that is it for morale points. So you will actually slowly build up morale points, so therefore it's a 2-on-2 dice roll. But we have surrounded this character. Interesting for him to take there, so he's actually trying to knock down. This one actually has a fair bit of defensive armor. 3 against 2. And we'll slowly whittle that away. So now we should actually, not so much on this character, so 2 versus 1. And we should be able to whittle this one away, but certainly coming from behind, I will get a bonus, so I get an extra die because we have surrounded this character, which was enough to take it out. So now it's just a defensive game. He's only got 1 attack, so we will completely just surround this character because of the points and what we've killed here. We're actually just going to come in 2 versus 1, and we'll slowly whittle away his armor. So he's actually not going to be able to fight. He's always ever just so because we expanded, as he said, we used the entire 4 movement points, we were given an extra movement point. I think we have Reckless Dash, which will ignore the zones. So if that's the case, we may play the Reckless Dash. Which hopefully, no, we can only... Which now, we have them surrounded. Bring this one in. And last but not least, bring this one in. Who also gets a bonus when the enemy is... And there we go. Good presentation. We actually won that battle. So it's happy days. So obviously you get the final battle. They're good little battles. They're only sort of, in this case, in 10 minutes, and I would say that was a fairly long one. I got 60 points for the victory, 80 for the kill, 120. I lost 20 for the 2 deaths, the one at the end. So I did not get a perfect score, but I did get an excellent. Obviously increase in honour points, and it's the honour points, as we said, that will obviously increase the clovers, if that's the right word, the clovers on each of the characters. Obviously the grey only has an opportunity to go up to a maximum of 3. Green 4, 3, 4, or blue, yeah, I'll actually have a look at that again, so I know I've stumbled over that one. And you can see a slight increase of the honour of those as well. We got a level up, so we got a chest. So let's have a look at the chest. And we completed a mission which gave us some more currency as well. With the quest being reset, you get some more quests, so you can, in this case here, points in the skirmish battles, so we're slowly building those up. Obviously, use your dust to create a unit, you get an extra 20 currency, so it just keeps on going through. Defend the mansion in the cutthroat scenario on high difficulty. We have that one. So we got ourselves a chest, so we go back to our collections, and on the right hand side here is where we have the chest. So it's a nice way to finish off. Let's have a look at what our chest is. We got 60 currency, which is added to our pool, and we got some paint. Awesome. Still, it's 5 units per white band. Our points now are 9, and cards per warband, which is still 12. So if I go back to our warbands, you will see now with this warband I have an extra point. So what it does mean is I can now, instead of looking at the ones, we can scroll down for points and potentially look at maybe the hunter, the rookie, or some of the others to potentially put in there and slowly increase our warband. Okay, a very quick let's play preview and just showing you one of the actual missions itself. It is likely I'll do some more. I'll wait for the feedback. Don't forget to write your comments. If you would like any more information or a more detailed explanation on the game itself, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to hit the likes and the subscribes if you'd like to see more of Warbands Bushido or anything else that I'm actually showing, whether it's through a let's play, whether it's through individual tutorials. So thank you very much. Hope you had fun and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, stay safe, and see you then. Bye.